What's up, Taurus? So let's go over your 2026 full year astrology forecast. And this year in 2026, my goal is to monetize my channel and make my dreams real. So you can help me do that by sharing my video, liking it, commenting on it, or just sharing it if it's helpful or useful for you in any way, Taurus. I will be very grateful to you. And so let's get started. So 2026 is a full year. There's so many things happening and going on. And, just to sum it up all in one video is honestly crazy for me. But I'm going to try my best because you deserve nothing but the best, Taurus. So let's get started. January 2026, Neptune is going to enter into Aries. And so this is going to be your 12th house, right? Aries is your 12th house, and Neptune is the home of your 12th house. So, you're going to be completely changed. Neptune's transit lasts about 14 years when it comes to like your spiritual body and networking and your subconscious insights and even heightened intuition. Though you already have an heightened intuition, or you could, if you're willing to connect with yourself. But if you're watching my video, you definitely have a heightened, intuition. And these are the things that we don't fight against. Like Taurus, I'm really gonna ask you not to fight against the alerts and all the synchronicities that you're getting in your life. Yeah, there's a thing that's called spiritual psychosis, and how we are not grounding ourselves. But you're an earth sign, so you have to ground yourself in order for these things to make sense to you. Your sign is a sign that is planting seeds. So just be aware of these hidden patterns and dreams and karmic, lessons. Neptune makes us want to be alone, even just being alone with the divine, even. And isolating yourself can be good during the month of January because it's cold outside. But other than that, just spending time in reflection. This is gonna be so like how I say this is really gonna call and like really yank on your soul purpose, because meditation, Neptune wants you to meditate, wants you to journal, do these things to ground your energy, do energy work, energy cleansing, healing, and just avoid escaping though towards, you can spend time in solitude, but avoid trying to escape and focus on grounding spiritual techniques and insights and anything that promotes like practical self-awareness. This is what you want to do in the month of January. And so moving on to February, Saturn is going to enter into Aries, and that's also going to be in your 12th house. And there's going to be discipline that is required for inner growth. Like I said, journal, meditate, anything that is so special to you that you do and that moves your energy around. Taurus, this is something that you have to do, and it has to be a spiritual practice, something that connects you with the creator of the universe and the creator of the self. Like what helps you in tune into yourself. This can be subconscious work. The 12th house has to do with karma and past patterns, and these are things that may surface. I know when Saturn was in my 12th house, I wanted to be alone the whole 3 years that Saturn was in my house, like literally sitting in rooms and places by myself. I felt better. I felt like more things were trying to connect with me. Like myself was really, I was my truest self. I was allowed to be my truest self. You really honestly feel kind of pressured to do that as well, Taurus, but don't make it an isolated thing. Make it a thing where it's like if you are by yourself, you are promoting some type of inner growth. You're arting. Because Neptune is in there, like, you're doing art. You're really trying to have this creative expression. Okay. And, 12th house has to do with hospitals and insane asylums and, places where they try to keep us alone by ourselves. And so be mindful of that. Saturn in there as well, it's more so trying to get you to be serious about your creative expression, and even about being selfless. You can be selfless to an extent. You can have these emotions and flow, because this is a house of flow. This is Pisces house. You can flow as much as you want, but there has to be some type of restrictions. You know what I'm saying? You have to use your will in order to like actually get the spiritual aspect down to the physical realm. Also in February, we have the solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 10th house. And new beginnings with your career, and new beginnings with like, public recognition, and even your life path. This is like new directions, and opportunities are definitely going to arise with the solar eclipse, like a different way of life, a different way to change your life. That's the best way to say it. Like, you're offered new directions and new outlooks, and you're able to switch where you actually even wanted to go in this life. And in February, there's also going to be Saturn conjuncting Neptune at the 0 degree in your 12th house in Aries. And really, Taurus, you have to, just because it's that 0 degree, this is something fresh. You're going to feel as though something fresh and like faded is starting for you. You don't know what it is, you don't know where you're headed. However, you have to merge with your spiritual insight and really use really use practical action. And hidden fears may come to light, or limiting patterns can be brought, and even, they're brought so they can be consciously transformed, and now they will be, because it's at the 0 degree. You have the awareness of it, and you're choosing to change it. And that's something that's just so fresh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I never had this chance before. Like, you're gonna feel towards like you never had that chance before. And so, moving on to March 2026, the lunar eclipse in Virgo. So the lunar eclipse that's going to be happening in Virgo, of course, lunar eclipses bring, uh, you know, they push us into the ways that we are supposed to go in life. And we're talking about Virgo. So any type of controlling tendencies, any type of mental things that do not work for you, because this is your fifth house as well, you have to be extremely creative. There is emotional clarity that's going to be provided for you, and old patterns of self-expression can even end for you, because if something is limiting and something is keeping you in the controlling matter, even if it comes to just trying to control your children, or trying to control their life, or trying to be such of a person, or even your inner child, be such of a a being that is trying to micromanage the creative side of you. It's really not going to work with the lunar eclipse in Virgo. Remember, like I said, Virgo is an earth sign. Virgo has to do a lot with control, and it's not trying to control to get you to do what it wants. It's trying to be perfect. It's not trying to manipulate you. It's really trying to have this perfect expression. In the fifth house, you can't really have a perfect expression. You have to be yourself, and you can invite a new romance towards. You can invite in new projects to work on if you're able to really open yourself up to your authentic voice. And it's not even an authentic voice, it's just changing the way that your voice is operating and coming out of you. Like, what comes to you, let it come. And also in March, there's a Saturn sextiling Pluto. And because Saturn is in your 12th house, I think that this can be supportive when it comes to like your direction, like the transformation and the ways that your life is now headed. You're gonna have to integrate a lot of discipline, and I think you're gonna have a lot of ambition to really tackle these long-term strategic goals that you may have, Taurus. So March can be a really pivoting month for you. So let's look at April. So April 2026, Uranus is going to be entering into Gemini. And Gemini is your second house, Taurus. So Uranus is really going to shock you in that second house, your income resources. Nothing that is conventional is going to get you to make money. I mean, it could if you've been doing it, but really taking the risk is going to get you further, and it's really going to help you break through. Even this is building up your self-worth. So really take those chances. And I'm not saying be crazy or anything like that, or like really bet everything on something, but I'm saying take those risks that are exposed to you. Uranus and Gemini has to do with the mind and sudden shifts, and this can be in your personal values. So think about it. If you really operate, and towards you're ruled by the second house, so if you're really operating in a mental space of I can make abundance in this way, and you're saying it and you're having conversations about it, the next 7 years you will be surprised what happens for you. You have to say it, you have to believe it, and more self-worth behind it as well. And you also have to be working towards it, but really be like, watch out for the surprises, and really stay adaptable and open to innovations in how you earn and how you spend and how you manage your resources as well, Taurus. In May, yay, that's Taurus season. Or, we can say April is Taurus season as well. But my son's birthday is in May, and he's a Taurus, my baby, my chocolate drop. I mean, I'm like, he's not even a baby anymore. But anyway, May. May brings Pluto. I just got so off track. Like, I cannot make longer videos because I'm gonna go and start talking about stuff. But let's get back to your yearly forecast. Pluto is gonna be retrograding in Aries. Excuse me. In Aquarius, and this has to do with deep reflection. You remember Aquarius is your 10th house, and you're thinking about where you're wanting to go, where your life is headed, and all of these different things. And sometimes it can feel very scary, especially with Pluto up in the 12th house. You have to be truthful. You like, if you're not speaking real truth, your life can feel very dark and shadowy, because you have to think about the collective consciousness, but also your own. It's like you have power to really change the world, but if it's inauthentic and it isn't based in creativity, it's harder. There's a lot of power dynamics that happen in relationships, and not even I'm saying relationships, but it can be in relationship with people that you work with, because you're trying to pull power from them when you have your own power that you need to stand upon. Even though you're working with them, you have something to add to something else. And Pluto really demands the truth. It demands transformation. So if you're unwilling to change, and you're unwilling to really go after things, and you're unwilling to self-reflect, it's really harder to reach those goals. And by the time the Pluto transit is up, like, you're gonna be your life is gonna completely change to directions you didn't even know that you were going. And so all of these things are up for review for you, Taurus. Mercury is gonna conjunct. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that one, because that one is not really important to me. Um, but there is gonna be let's move to June. In June 2026, there's going to be Uranus squaring Neptune. And this, Uranus is going to be in Gemini. And this can bring unexpected financial developments. This can really challenge your sense of security, Taurus. And growth really becomes like the only thing that you can embrace right now. A lot of things are going to change for you, and a lot of things have changed for you because Uranus just came out of your sign. But mentally, things are going to change, and you're going to have to release some certain things as well. Mercury is going to retrograde in Cancer, and Mercury doesn't really like a water sign, but it's in its home sign. I mean, it's in its home house of the third. So it's like, okay, we can work with it. We can work with you, Taurus, but just reviewing conversations that you're having with different people and, you know, um, neighbors and people that you're around, and just being patient and double checking things and double checking details is very prominent during this Mercury retrograde. But it can be, you can be involved in emotional conversations, things that really weigh heavily, and it's like you need a second to really process those things mentally when Mercury is going to be in retrograde. July 2026, Neptune is going to retrograde, and this is going to get you to reassess your spiritual practices. I really encourage you, Taurus, to find a spiritual practice this year if you haven't, and you have to. This is going to keep you a lot more grounded than you think. And because, like I say, you are already an earth sign, you're grounded, but Neptune in that 12th house, there is just such a cloud that we ride on, and you have to really practically change your subconscious patterns and change the emotional, dynamics that you're in. In order to promote some type of clarity about, about certain patterns, about certain karmas. Clarity is hard when Neptune is in retrograde, or even Neptune is in the 12th house, if you're not grounded in your reality. And also in July, Jupiter is going to be opposite Pluto. Jupiter is going to be in Leo, or move into Leo, and Pluto is in Aquarius. And so there's going to be tension between your career and what your family wants, and blah blah blah. Well, it's going to feel like blah blah blah, because you're really trying to work towards what you want in life, and you're having these, you're meeting these people, you're having these um these ambitions, and even you're trying to balance your personal growth and your professional demands. I would suggest that you, of course, figure out what's going on at home. But there is an opposition, and sometimes you have to make a choice, and it just depends on your chart, what other aspects that it's making. But Jupiter in the 4th house, it's really trying to get you to move somewhere, and whether that's mentally, whether that's wisdom, it's really wanting you to use your wisdom from home to create a better direction in life. So listen to what's going on at home. Clear some stuff up there if you need to. And so the North Node is going to shift into Aquarius. Okay, so the North Node is going to shift into Aquarius. Wow, so you're going to have the North Node in your 10th house, Taurus? Oh, freaking K. I mean, the North Node was in your 9th house, now it's in your 10th house. I mean, it was in your 11th house, I'm sorry, now it's in your 10th house. Okay, Taurus. This is pretty big, I think that the North Node in the 10th house is a pretty grand placement for the North Node to just be sitting and chilling, especially with Pluto being in there as well. Let's just say that your professional growth and your life direction needs you. You are completely, how can I even express this type of destiny focus? That's how I can say, this is a destiny focus. This is something that no one can give you. I can't really even talk about it. You really have to tell me, the type of reputation that you're going to have, the type of opportunities that you're going to have. They're going to be coming left and right and up and down, and it's going to be up to you to be truthful. You have to lead with the truth. We're not perfect, and we can't be pretending. We can't pretend anything, and you really can't pretend with the energy of Pluto being up there. But Like, wow, you have Pluto and you have the North Node. Like, you are destiny focused in everything that you're doing, Taurus. And of course, I'm gonna make a July 2026 video. That way I can see more of what's going on with aspects that it's making, because these are really karmic opportunities, and karma is not always bad, but it's definitely aligned, and they just come to you and come to you. And if you're like lying to yourself and taking things, like, Pluto is going to expose you. It's going to expose like the deepest trauma and shame of yourself if you are unwilling. But this is all called divine alignment. So don't, get so scared, because this is trying to push you to be who you are. And no matter if it has to expose you, Pluto will destroy that part of you that it has to get the rewards, which is not what is it, or the North Node. They want Rahu wants the rewards, and it's gonna keep pushing you forward and pushing you forward and pushing you forward. Like, destiny is revealed. I mean, come on, like, that's this is that's a perfect one, a speedy alignment. So August 2026, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. Wow, a lunar eclipse in Aquarius as well in your 10th house. I mean, these are emotional breakthroughs that are regarding the public life, or the life that you're headed towards, and even hidden ambitions can come to light. Like I said, please just be mindful of truth, professional truth, personal truth, your leadership issues, anything that you have a problem with, you have to be honest. And I'm not saying, just go around and speak ill, or like let your shadows overpower you, but definitely be aware of them and willing to transform them. If you don't like something, you can change it. Excuse me. If you don't want to stay somewhere where you're not valued, you don't have to. And I think that this 2026 is really going to teach you that. So we're also going to have a solar eclipse in Virgo, and that's gonna be, in your 5th house. And solar eclipses have to do with new and fresh start. So it can have to do with, romance. It can have to do with your creative expression. I think that this is something very positive for you. Your personal joy is amplified, and because the sun, we're talking about solar energy and it's involved in this. I think that this is like a beautiful time to initiate projects that are aligned with your original self, expression. And I say original very loudly, just because a lot of things have clouded your inner joy, inner alignment, just by getting into the wrong relationships, by doing things that don't really align to us, but other people want us to do it. So it's almost like this is an ideal time to return back to your most happiest self and most centered self. In September 2026, this is you integrating reflection and aligning to your career goals. The only thing that's really going on this month, I think that Uranus is going retrograde in Gemini. But honestly, you're still feeling the effects and lessons of the eclipses and the Jupiter and Pluto opposition. And those are really going to crystallize those lessons and that transformation. So please work on your family and home responsibilities, as well as your personal, creativity or goals. October 2026, Venus is going to go retrograde in Scorpio, and you're going to be reviewing, Scorpio is your 7th house, so you're going to be reviewing your relationships and how you are operating in the means of love. And of course, exes can return, and see how powerful you have become. And you really want to be mindful like of that, especially in the sign of Scorpio. Intimate relationships and connections and shared resources, they really bring up past karmic issues, and you really want to take this time, this retrograde, for healing and for closure if need be. People see you looking good and doing great, and now all of a sudden, or even moving forward in life and getting things that you always knew that you would, or you said that you would. They are coming to test they're coming to test you. Like, that's just what I'm going to say, especially with Neptune and your 12th, in your 12th house. They are coming to test you and see, if they can still, they can, I want to say mess you up, but it is a test from the universe, you know, because you're going in such a powerful direction. Are you going to let little minions and little goblins stop you? No, Taurus, right? Mercury retrograde as well in the 7th house. Yeah, Mercury retrograde brings the communication of access. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And any type of talking that you do talk to someone, it needs to require some type of care. No yelling, no manipulation, no, you should have came back speaking much differently than you are now. But any type of misunderstandings, they're going to be resolved, and any contracts that need to be reviewed, because 7th house is not always about partnerships, even though it is a marriage house. It can be business, it can be exes, it can be best friends. It is the house of other people. So definitely be mindful of writing and agreeing to certain things, even when it comes to law and things of that nature. Neptune, I wanted to say Neptune so badly that I said the wrong word. I mean November. November 2026, the retrograde is going to end, and there's going to be stabilization in your marriage house, in your 7th house, and your finances and partnerships. Like, they bring more clarity now. Like, you're able to really see where love is operating from you. Is it heart centered, or is it just like obsession centered? Your Uranus is going to trine Pluto, and I think that this is going to bring a smooth integration when it comes to financial transformations. um Even when it comes to making I wouldn't say decisions. Almost like decisions are presented to you in a very shocking way, but you're able to make decisive decisions. I said the same thing, I think, but like, these opportunities for empowerment are definitely gonna arise for you to bring abundance to yourself naturally. That's the best way to say it. Like, naturally you're presented with these opportunities. You can be surprised by them. However, you have to really be mindful. Like, is that what you actually want? You have to ask yourself if that's something that you want, and not just uh not something that you're just doing because it is presented to you. December 2026, Saturn is going to, in its retrograde, and um, there's karma that's going to be cleared, and spiritual discipline that will be developed on your part. There's going to be lessons that you have integrated, or you will integrate. Neptune is also going to end its retrograde, and there's this inner clarity in vision, and in your spiritual awareness, that is going to align with this conscious action. Excuse me, Taurus. I think that there's going to be a lot of shift in income and personal values, and even trying to adapt to certain types of growth. This is your 2026 theme. There's a focus on your professional evolution, your evolution in general. There's opportunities for you, in love, in children, in creative projects. Even when it comes to like deepening your your sexuality and sensuality, power dynamics. There's just so many things that you have to, it's almost like you have to let Neptune and Saturn kind of guide your inner development, and that way you can have a better like resolution when it comes to making choices and making conscious decisions and really be honest and truthful with yourself. So it's like the time that you spend alone is really trying to tell you something, and it wants to know if you're listening, Taurus. So yes, that is all I have for you, Taurus. I hope that was helpful. Have a great year. Good luck. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And please share my video and help me monetize. Thank you so much, Taurus. I'll see you. Good luck. Happy 2026.